Welcome to this new video on Gran Turismo 7 where we're going to test the new engine swaps added with update 1.69, especially the new swap that a lot of people are talking about, added to the Lexus LFA, the game's most expensive new swap, by a very wide margin since we're talking about a swap that costs over 10 millions. Just before that, I'll show you the list of all the engine swaps that were added with update 1.69. There are about 10 of them, and I think we'll test most of them in videos, so make sure to subscribe for the next ones if you like this kind of content. Today, we're going to test 3 of them. We're going to start with a new swap available for the 2010 Volkswagen Scirocco R car that, until now, couldn't be swapped. What swap are we going to be able to install on it? It's the engine from the Volkswagen GTI Group 3. In this setup, with the engine swap, we can reach 800 horsepower. I think that without this swap, the fully upgraded Scirocco R is around 500 horsepower. So, it's still a big power gain for about 1080 cues. And this engine has another advantage besides power. It's lighter than the Scirocco's stock engine. So, we have a car that's technically lighter, more powerful, and also higher in performance points. Because here, if I'm not mistaken, we're at 770, which means that, by default, we'll end up against some really big cars, like hypercars, LaFerrari, Ferrari FXXK. And honestly, I'm surprised by how the Scirocco handles. I expected it to be a dud with this swap and didn't think it could handle that much power, since it's a front-wheel drive. But actually, no, it's going pretty well. Well, obviously, if I put all the power down, the car slips a little bit at the front, but if I ease off a bit, it works. It's a car that actually seems to perform pretty well. Good acceleration too, in my opinion. A good top speed, probably over 350 km/h with the speed well-tuned, and a car that's overall very easy to drive. So, it's potentially not such a bad idea to swap in the Group 3 V6. It doesn't make the car feel completely wrong. It's playable. A pretty crazy swap that was added to the Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint GT. You could already swap it with a Honda engine, which makes 600 horsepower once upgraded. Now, as of update 1.69, you can also install an engine from Alfa Romeo, the engine from the Giulia Quadrifoglio Verde, which makes 600 horsepower before any upgrades. Now I think it's going to be a monster, especially since this car is so light. It's a whole new level of power at just 950 cues.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting that. I saw the car lift up during the race start cutscene, and I knew we were in for something special. Wait, this is going to be very hard to drive because the car actually lifts up, literally, when you accelerate. I don't think it helps that I put a spoiler on. So when I put the spoiler on, I thought, well, the spoiler will help the car hold better in the corners. Yeah, maybe, but still. Because there's no front aero on this car, we can't install the kit that keeps it planted. Well, what's going to be hard to handle are the corners, actually. In the end, on a straight line, the car will run just fine. We've got almost 900 horsepower for 950 kilos. We've got a car that's a rear-wheel drive car at 720 pp, so yeah, it's not a total dud. On the other hand, with the default suspension settings, it's going to be almost unplayable on a traditional track. Because, well, it's impossible to take a corner without the car lifting up. Well, that's usually fixable. You just need to put much stiffer suspension in the back. And generally, that solves the problem. Come on, look at this. But for acceleration, it's a rocket, right? You can very easily reach 300 km/h, and this engine is really good for hitting Vmax. In general, it has a very strong, very powerful pull. So here, I tweaked the suspension settings a bit, and I think it's already much better. The car lifts less. Even though it still lifts, it's a bit less extreme. We keep all 4 wheels mostly on the ground now, making it much more manageable. But I still think making the car competitive will be very tough. With this swap, it's a swap that's more for fun than anything else. Anyway, and this kind of car, it's too old to make it competitive. Once you exceed 350 or 400 horsepower, they're not designed for that. This is mainly just to show off, by the way. We're going to install the swap on the Lexus LFA, a 10 million swap, which is by far the most expensive swap in the game. I haven't checked yet what kind of engine it is, and honestly, I'm pretty skeptical. I think we'll see. Maybe we'll get some completely broken performance, but I think Sony did this. Because the engine of the Lexus LFA is considered by many car enthusiasts to be probably one of the best engines of all time, both for its performance and for all the engineering technologies that were specially developed for it. So, I think that unless the swap is especially overpowered in terms of performance, they set a very high price simply to discourage players from using it. and basically stop people from replacing the LFA's V10 with something else. But, well, maybe I'm wrong. Let's see what the swap is. What is this thing? Oh, but what kind of swap is this? 70 F1 GTR. It's a swap from... Is it a BMW V12 swap? Yeah, that's it. What the fuck? So, 10 million for the swap? Maybe it's also explainable by the fact that the McLaren F1 is an absolutely insanely expensive car in Gran Turismo 7s. So yeah, it's clearly a swap that's very, very expensive. Now, is it really, really high performing? That's what we're going to find out in just a moment. I'm going to fully upgrade our little LFA. If I'm not mistaken, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong or not. But up until now, I think the most expensive engine to swap was the Bugatti engine. Anything Bugatti related. The Chiron's W16 could be installed in certain cars, and I think it cost around 2 million, and even that was very expensive. Can you imagine? 2 million? In Gran Turismo 7, you can't do that in 5 minutes. It's not like in Forza Horizon. Well, listen, I feel like this engine swap is a huge scam, so wait. Let's see, maybe I missed some parts, but I don't think so. No. Well, that's expensive, huh? That's really expensive because, well, actually we have 850 horsepower. We have a legendary V12 McLaren engine, which is actually a BMW engine. And in the end, we have 850 horsepower. Well, I've never fully upgraded the LFA's V10. I don't know what the maximum power is, but I wouldn't even be surprised if the LFA's V10 ends up being more powerful than that. So, we're still going to test it because it would really piss me off to have spent 10 million on a swap I'm not going to use. But I feel like I'm getting ripped off here, you know, very clearly. Well, listen, let's go. It's weird to hear something other than the V10 coming from the LFA. But let's say, well, it's still more respectable than having installed a VTEC on the LFA, even though I have nothing against VTECs. It's still not the same level of prestige, but the advantage is that the LFA is an excellent base. Like, very clearly, the chassis is exceptionally good, it's a car that handles well, brakes well, and is already very powerful to begin with. So in this case, it's really just a swap. I don't really see the point, except to say I did a 10 million swap on the LFA. So, well, let's see anyway. Maybe in a straight line we'll get a surprise, maybe we'll get some mind-blowing performance. Oh, the gearbox is so fast on this car. Come on, let's go. Ah yes, it's true that this engine does rev quite a bit, but well, the stock V10 revs, I think, 2,000 more. And yeah, it accelerates hard. But let's just say that in my garage, I have cars that cost me 20 times less and honestly are, yeah, faster than this. So, well, yeah, it's a huge ripoff. Very clearly, and why? Above all, I don't understand why they did this, why they added this swap. Is there a reason? There's usually a reference, but I don't see one here. If you know it, explain in the comments so I don't feel like I just got ripped off for 10 million credits, that's all. We've tested 3 swaps and we'll have 3 or 4 left to test in upcoming videos. Still, remember to leave a like on this one, even if it's just to help it get seen and get some views, so I can at least pay back my engine swap. Feel free to join me on Twitch for the next live streams. The link will be in a pinned comment. You can follow, you can use Prime to support the channel, and you'll also find my instant gaming link, which lets you buy your games for less. Support my channel and I'll see you soon with a new video. Ciao.